The Asia-Pacific region shouldn't be a battlefield for geopolitical power struggles. Wang Wenbin, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, made these remarks about contentious concepts that both the United States and Japan are implementing in the South China Sea. Being the driving force behind global economic growth, the Asia-Pacific region is progressively getting sucked into politics of conflict and antagonism. As a result of American nationalism, the meeting between Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and President Joe Biden in Washington, D.C., exposed the Asia-Pacific to unnecessary provocations and did not serve as a deterrent. China has every right to reply, in essence. First off, given what has happened, there is no need to deter China. Although both the U.S. and Japan have worked to undermine the idea of one China by incorporating the issue of Taiwan into their military alliance, Kishida and Biden referred to Beijing as a shared threat. In addition, the joint statement of the U.S.-Japan Security Consultative Committee is defamatory, equating Beijing's efforts to alter the regional status quo with China's fundamental right to begin peaceful reunification with Taiwan. Unfortunately, that is not the case since the Washington elite actively supports Japan's new national security strategy for 2022 and puts it into practice to pressure Beijing to give up its sovereignty and back down from its rightful claims. This weakens deterrence in the Asia-Pacific rather than strengthening it. Upon closely examining the Japanese-ness of 2022, it is clear that Japan has significantly changed from its previous pacifist position since World War II and its rejection of war and aggression. The Kishida administration, however, intends to add aggressive, attacking capabilities to Tokyo's defense. According to its defense policy documents, Japan will obtain counterstrike capabilities, including hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles developed in the U.S., that allow it to hit targets 1,500 miles away with an accuracy of 16 feet. As part of its relationship with the United States, Japan has an excessive focus on restraint of China, which strongly suggests that it can strike China. Furthermore, Japan said in December 2022 that it would increase its defense spending by 20% to $55 billion, marking the most significant military expansion since World War II. This poses a direct threat to the peace in the Asia-Pacific rather than fostering any sense of regional security. Furthermore, the deterrence equation in the area will be disrupted rather than enforced by the presence of cruise missiles. Most nations in the Asia-Pacific region, including Malaysia and Singapore, have cordial relations with China based on long-standing commercial and apolitical cooperation and uphold the principles of non-interference, neutrality, and respect for state sovereignty. This is true even if both nations strongly disagree with Beijing about the latter's strategy in the South China Sea. In the absence of American action, both parties, unlike Tokyo, support resolving issues through diplomacy and communication. As a result, any attempt to change the status quo by military deployments will negatively affect the freedom of navigation, which both Japan and the United States pretend to support. Consequently, only some people will engage in such a rash adventure. It is also unsettling to see U.S. Nimitz aircraft carriers equipped with guided missile destroyers and nuclear-powered missiles conducting what Washington claims are maritime attack trainings in the South China Sea. As China has demonstrated with its Shandong aircraft carrier, which performed realistic combat-oriented drills, American military deployments can readily elicit tit-for-tat responses from Beijing. Provocations from the United States and Japan are evident, and tensions can swiftly rise if the Kishida and Biden administrations make little attempt to start talks to ease tensions with Beijing. The stability of deterrence is in jeopardy due to ongoing tensions, which is terrible news for the security of the Asia-Pacific. Additionally, this is not the first time the U.S. has invoked deterrence to support its military operations in the South China Sea. It has historical justification for its hostility towards China. A guided missile carrier, the USS Chancellorsville, violated Chinese sovereignty in November 2022, just days after U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris visited Manila, called for overflight in South China, and promised to launch an international campaign against China's allegedly irresponsible behavior. Chinese defense analysts believe that the U.S. aircraft carrier's actions have little military value beyond inflaming tensions, which is precisely what is happening up to 2023 due to America's alliance with Japan and that country's propensity for conflict with China. The truth is that the United States' involvement will jeopardize regional stability in the Asia-Pacific. Any tension reduction strategy must be focused locally and among regional states. The area cannot be used as a handy backyard for American imperialism or Washington, D.C., to woo friends like Japan, which would then embrace aggressive stances and divisive ideologies as a strategy against China. False threat perceptions based on ideological prejudice and zero-sum thinking will only breed a Cold War theater in the area that is to no country's advantage. The Asia-Pacific region can do without this. If sound strategic judgment fails, deterrence in the South China Sea will gradually fade.